wrestling fans, and welcome to Wrestling Gab. I'm Travis. It is Friday, and that means it's time for Friday Night Smackdown. Delitha will be here in a moment. Just got done watching Rampage. Anybody out there watch Rampage? It was on. It just ended. Just now. Let's see. Let's get some stuff straightened out. Yeah. Up in here. All right, let's do a little bit of a roll call here. Walter Johnson's up in here. Film up in here. Sophie's up in here. I don't think I've seen Sophie for a minute. I already said Walter. And Matthew's up in here. And then Bryce. And then Jacob. Thank you guys for joining us. I am just getting things going here. I was going to come on a little bit early and watch the end of Rampage. But then Delitha showed up. She bought herself a brand new S22 Ultra, whatever, the new Samsung Galaxy. And so she had it over at this phone shop, putting like liquid covers on it and stuff. But it's white, and she put a clear case on it. It's pretty tough. She's actually never even turned it on yet. So she might be playing with that tonight. But anyways, that's what we were just doing. But it looks like on SmackDown, we are going to get a unification match tonight, winner take all. And if you were on Twitter at all today, you did see some belts circulating that were like blue and red, and they were the tag team face. And possibly just somebody made it, or possibly it's the Unified Tag Team Championship belt. But I do know that it looks like Roman Reigns is going to be wrestling Riddle at the beginning of July and Orton at the end of July. And if that's the case, that means there's going to be Money in the Bank, and we're going to see at SummerSlam, basically Team RK Bro wrestling Roman Reigns, which means if they're still tag team champions, we don't have tag team championship matches during those two pay-per-views. And I just don't know if they're going to go that route. So there is a possibility, just by the booking rumors, that we could get a true unification match tonight. So,
true unification for what?
Tag team championships. It's happening maybe right now. It looks like Roman Reigns is coming out first.
Sweet. Passing on the phone. Freakoid.
I just told everybody you bought a phone.
Not this phone.
Not this phone. This
This
thing.
isn't the right. This isn't the phone. This is the phone that works.
This was just garbage. I'm gonna throw it.
No.
There's a couple places online that'll give you $138 for it.
Yeah, well, they can eat my dog shit.
You'd rather just sit in a drawer and go bad.
No.
Ah.
But I'm not going to give it to them after I paid as much money as I did for them.
Well, yeah. This is definitely a liability. A phone is a liability. It definitely depreciates. It does not appreciate. I wonder if you could get like an old phone, like a Galaxy 3, and then just soup it up like an old car. Put like new software in it or
I
hard.
don't think you can. Anyways, we have people in the chat. You been talking to anybody yet?
I have not talked to anybody. I did do a little bit of a roll call.
All right, hold
And
on.
now we have Ravi in here, and Daz is in here, Luke's in here.
Did you do JVD?
JVD.
Bryce, Matthew?
Where's JVD at?
Right there. JVD says, hey, how's everyone? Great. JVD,
No,
how
I did
is
not do
your
JVD.
Friday
JVD.
night going? Walter says, RK Bro will win. And Matthew's like, so Nidville is going to ruin someone's night because she is taking over. All them other broads stand back. Bryce says, hello, Wrestling Gab. Happy Friday. Jacob Hagina's in the chat, says, hey, I'm finally on days starting next week. Well, good for you, buddy. You made it through all your night shifts. Fantastic. Matthew says, AEW Rampage and Dark are difficult to watch. Well,
Dark,
you know what?
Dark
Dynamite
wasn't
get
too
more
bad
difficult to
tonight,
watch,
but
too.
it did have its ups and downs. But it's an hour, and
You mean
it's
Rampage?
all wrestling.
Right. Yeah, Rampages.
But
I'm pretty sure Dark is too, but it's not on TV. It's just on their YouTube channel. Ravi says, what's good, people? Dad says, who do you think is next for Roman? Ravi says, AEW on a Friday is hard to watch as it's moved times. Bryce is like, I saw that on my Instagram.
To answer your question, it's going to be Riddle. Money in the Bank would be my answer to that.
So I guess you were talking about something that was leaked, because Bryce says, I saw that on my Instagram, and if you ask me, Travis, I don't like it, just being honest. I don't know what you guys were talking about.
Maybe the tag team championship.
Oh.
There was a Twitter going around all day of these new belts. What they could look like. They're red at the top and blue at the bottom. And then they're the tag team face, the two Spartan warriors facing each other. So it looks just like these belts, except for they're red and blue. One on top and one on bottom. It's probably made by somebody, but who knows. And I know yesterday that a UK station showed the Usos with both belts, then pulled it, and then they re-released the tweet that this could happen. So it was working.
How do you know?
Because it said 54% on the top, and it was a spinning green thing.
Anyways.
It's probably not going to be fast.
Well, I don't expect it to be fast, but it's not even doing anything now.
It's broken. Just leave it alone. That's what happened. I set it there, and then I forgot about it, and then I looked over, and it was spinning. There, it just popped up.
Anyways.
Roman greatness.
Luke says, hi all. Hey Luke. Daz says, hey Jacob, how are you doing today? Walter says, hey
Hello.
Luke. And Matthew says, yo, 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 sausage wallets. Jacob Jean says, Daz, I am good. I've been busy. And Walter says, Roman Reigns starting the show. Sophie says, yay, D is here with the cute kitty, even though I'm a dog person. Right?
It happens.
He's
Everybody
pretty cute.
loves kittens, though. I think everybody can agree on that. There.
That kittens are cute.
Yeah.
I-
No matter what animal you're like, I prefer dogs.
Right.
But cats are cute as shit. Kittens.
I am more of a dog person myself, but I like cats. Like, I don't hate them. It kind of depends on what kind of a cat they are, though, too. Robbie says Roman's sneaking out the place. And Luke says it's weird that image was leaked, but other reports are saying there were no plans to actually unite the titles, so who knows?
Exactly. Yeah, we'll find out. Grand Rapids, acknowledge me.
Walter says, hey, kitten, boo. Paul Heyman and the Usos. JVD says, had a bad today. One of my best friends passed away. Aw.
That's
I am
always
so
bad.
sorry, man, that you had a bad day. That is always really hard when your friends pass away. That is no good. No good, my friend. I am so sorry to hear that, buddy.
That is terrible. Sean Rossap did say just now, this is 50 minutes ago, he said, we're told that there has been discussions about addressing the Sasha Banks and Naomi status on SmackDown.
Oh, okay.
That doesn't mean it's going to happen, but there's discussions. But neither are listed for the show.
Ah. Film is in the chat. It says, hi, Misty. Big hug, big heart to you and my good friend Travis. Thanks, Film. Good to see you in here.
Hey, I just got a notification that we're live.
That's awesome. Sophie says, I heard a report there are some AEW talents that aren't happy for whatever reason. There's a lot of things happening with AEW that isn't good. Possibly not good.
Yeah, they're all, it just is. You know, we won't know until we know.
Hey, did you get some claws back, little poop? Yeah? Did I shock you? I shocked him. That's why he probably pulled away.
Oh.
San Martino.
Okay, come on.
Film says it's Friday, and you guys know what that means. It's time for
There's a little hint right there at the
drinking and glorious fun. Just kidding. Matthew says Jimmy Uso is a danger to the public. People says, I'm sorry to hear that. JVD, prayers with you. Chris says, the head of the buffet table, Big Roman Rome coming down. As Chris Connie is in the chat. Hey, Chris. And Jacob Jean says, D, I didn't know your cat was a parrot. And hey, Al. Yeah, he likes to sit on shoulders. Walter says, JVD, my prayers are with you. And Sophie says, if they unify the championship tonight, then what will be the main event of the Hell in a Cell then?
Well, we already know what the main event's going to be at Hell in a Cell. That's Cody and Seth.
Yeah, it's definitely something different.
Cody and Seth, number 3. Already.
I squeeze you all to death.
No.
Boom's like, hey Jacob, how's it going, bro? Thumbs up. And Robbie says, sorry to hear that. JVD Pickle is like, I just came in from mowing the lawn, so hope everyone is well. Sounds like you're having a good time there, Pickle, mowing lawns. We're doing pretty good. Sorry to hear about JVD and his friend, though. That sucks.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Let's see. Matthew says, Sophie asked one of her people if they are happy and Muslim or not happy. Phillips says, glad to see my favorite tag team partner. And Jacob says, Travis, don't ruin it. I am going to watch it after this. Walter's like, Rampage was early today. Good wrestling now. SmackDown.
I won't tell you
Rampage.
what really happened. I mean, I could tell you some main events that are happening at the pay-per-view.
Matthew says, Roma tries too hard to be hard. Vindicator's like, watch me. Hey, Vin. JBD's like, thanks, Picola. It's hard. Sophie says, tonight is a bad night for New York baseball fans since both games that were scheduled tonight got postponed because of bad weather. Daz says, is there... Oh. Missed it. I'm trying to catch up here. Daz says, Jacob, I am doing predictions for AEW tomorrow on my channel as well. Matthew says, Cola, it was in the low 90s today. Summer came quick. Walter says Ric Flair should not wrestle for his last match in NWA.
You don't want to see Riddle or Rick going one-on-one with maybe... Well, I guess Steamboat turned it down. Oh. But it was going to be Ricky Steamboat. That would have been awesome. I mean,
2 old
20
men
years
just
ago. But
hanging out in a ring, farting at each other.
It's going to be a tag match. Rick will be tagged with somebody, and then the other legend will be tagged with another group. P.
Cole says my SmackDown feed's wigging out, so I guess I'll check out the pregame NBA playoff show. Dad says, is there a draft coming up soon again? Do you know?
Yes. There will be one at the end of September, early October. The Usos will come home. What luxury is that? You come out, you stand there, and Paul Heyman does all your talking. Like, for everybody. Like, the whole bloodline. It just makes sense. He just talked for 7 minutes.
So this is for the belts?
Tonight, yeah.
Oh.
It's probably going to be the main event, but they could do it first. Or it could just end at a disqualification.
Dad says, is there a draft coming? Oh, I read that. Matthew says, JBD, hang in there, boss. Ravi says, about time Sasha left to do better somewhere else. Better. You're funny. Walter's like, okay, at 9:30 p.m. I'm going here on Monday.
That's the belt that's been circulating.
Oh, that's dumb.
But that doesn't mean anything. Somebody could have just made it up in their basement.
I just think that's really stupid because they have to go on both brands at all times and they're not always in the same city. And they're on different programs.
There's 4 tag teams in the whole men's division. 1 in the females division.
Right.
I don't think it matters.
I don't feel that Fox really would want that, though, in reality, with some of this stuff. The men's division is a lot better off than the female division, so I just don't see him being okay with it.
They have the Viking Raiders down on NXT every week wrestling.
Do they?
Yeah.
Teaching them something. Something.
They're teaching the kids, yeah. No, group hug.
But Walter says he's still here for SmackDown, though. He's still good. He's still in the chat. And JVD says, thanks, Robbie. Thanks, Matthew. Robbie says, big up, JVD. Respect. Walter says, the kid has energy today. Funny. Not particularly. He's in my lap now. Bone's like, I hope the armpit boss will be back. I love Sasha Banks. And Sophie says, with the WWE draft, there has been plenty of conflicting reports about it. Like when it could happen, rumors are it could happen before SummerSlam or before the UK pay-per-view. Chris says, Paul Heyman, with all due respect, this is not the biggest night in tag team wrestling because Vince doesn't care about tag wrestling, which makes me think this match will end in DQ.
Yeah, there could definitely be something fishy. But I wouldn't be surprised if either team won it. I mean, I just have a hard time if Randy's going to wrestle him at SummerSlam and Riddle's going to wrestle him at Money in the Bank. I mean, if that is truth, then they can't be tag team champions going into those matches.
Sami Zayn's all like, yeah, look at my boys out there.
Sammy.
Hey. Oh, goodness. Film says, hey, Picola, happy Friday, friend. Robbie says, Cody, Seth in a cage. Matthew says, JVD, of course, it's always tough. Walter says, MJF 2024, Ellen Hilly does 2 from AEW. Did I finally get caught up? No, I'm still behind.
Oh, Shinsuke talking trash to the bloodline as he's coming down to the ring.
Matthew says, Chris, you know wrestling. Robbie's like, D tries too hard to be hard. Sure, buddy. Vindicator says, watch me hound Dalitha all night long for trivia questions. I mean, somebody has to pick up the slack for Walter. So he's like, I feel like with this Unified Championship match that we are getting tonight, that we would get a screwy finish to set up a rematch at Hell in a Cell inside Hell in a Cell. Sure. That makes sense. Matthew's like, MJF
Screwy.
and WWE is going to be hot. And Walter says, okay, Vin. Film says, hey, Vin, happy Friday. Sophie says, I wasn't here that much Wednesday. What is your honest thoughts about this whole Sasha and Naomi thing?
I'm just going to let it play out. Like I said, Naomi isn't important enough for me to worry about, like whether she stays or goes. But Sasha's a little bit different story. And wrestling, I was thinking about this earlier. Wrestling is a sport that's based on drama. Sasha brings drama. Anytime she doesn't get her way, she's going to bring drama, which is the sport.
Right.
And if she leaves, then she comes back to a big pop. It's almost perfect for the sport, like especially for the WWE sport of it.
Right.
Like no matter what she does, it's going to be perfect.
Right.
Because if she ever comes back, even if it's 5 years from now, she's going to get a big pop. Like, I don't know. When a wrestler's around all the time and they're constantly there, they get stale.
Yeah.
She doesn't do that because she pouts too much.
Right.
Right? Like so she's almost built for the WWF. Now, I don't know about any other organization if they would put up with that kind of stuff, but it is what it is.
I mean,
I don't want to ruin anybody's life here by saying this, but it's a television show first. It's not like she and Naomi went out and won tag team championships, right? It's scripted. So in a scripted world where they go and become champions for the movie, for the show, and they have to do that. Now, you know what I'm saying? They didn't earn those titles.
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's not like the UFC where they fought for the titles.
Right.
You see what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So
yes.
they have the titles that they were handed, and now they don't like the storyline that's going along with it. The whole fucking thing's a storyline. Like,
Right.
I mean, I'm obviously kayfabing it, I'm like fucking it up, but that's the facts. Like, it's just a fucking show.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, why on earth would you pout about going to fight Ronda Rousey and why Naomi's going to go fight the other world champion on Raw? So at the pay-per-view, you're both going to be fighting the world champions with the display on the board that you could leave with all the belts. Like, your tag team could have all the female belts.
Right.
That's the build-up, and they don't want to be a part of that storyline? Like, that somehow embarrasses them?
Because they don't win. It's like you haven't been back long enough to win, Sasha.
Well,
And why on earth do you think you should win anyways? And I don't feel Naomi is.
Naomi's not going to beat Esther. That's dumb. That can't even be thought
Yeah.
of. And Ronda, they wouldn't have brought her back to lose to Sasha now. Maybe at Mania or something one day or something, but not now. They already have their champions. That's how I looked at the whole thing.
Right.
Right? Like, I mean, how is that not how everybody's looking at it, I guess? But, I mean, obviously we were supposed to have opinions, but I just kind of got into it a little bit earlier and just thinking deep on it. And it's just weird that you would complain about being a part of the show.
Right. Yeah. But
That's written for you.
That's basically what Sasha does, though.
And it's an actual great storyline. And Naomi's going to be now in a storyline for 2 weeks. Or she would have been in a storyline for 2 weeks with Esther. Attacking her from behind or whatever they had to do.
Right.
It would have just looked good. But no, she
now
wants
they
to be
look
wants to
bad.
be great, a great tag team. Like, Vince don't give a shit about tag teams, and you knew it when you went into it. At least that's my opinion. Okay, there's my 2 cents.
All right. Sorry I didn't get to ask a trivia question there, guys. I'll get you on the next commercial.
I just won't talk
Chris says,
anymore.
you're fine. I just... Sometimes I get it in before you start, and so it's not so bad. Chris says, plus FTR, freaking ROH and AAA champs, 2 wrestling companies, not just 2 brands of one company. Walter says, some AEW contracts are coming up. They will go to another company and WWE people. Matthew says, I'm over this. And Robbie says, I didn't listen, had it on mute, LOL. Matthew says, it came for Sony Giggity. Sophie says, I read a report that they are thinking about doing the draft a lot earlier than they normally do it every year. Robbie says, LOD, sensing my sarcasm there, LOL. Matthew says, Jey Uso deserves a solo career. Sophie says, Fox wants brand exclusive rosters. Matthew says, amen. Robbie. Luke says, that look Roman just gave makes me think that the Usos won't win now. That look was dirty, LOL. Walter says, okay, wrestling time, hurry up, LOL. Luke says, Sophie, do you ever do anything but read reports, like go live life? Walter says, boo. Sami Zayn. Sophie says, yeah, I play video games. Walter says, Nakamura for the win. Film says, hello, Matthew. Happy Good Friday to you, my friend. Matthew says, I don't know. Nakamura always looks like he walked out of an opium den. Pete Cole says, thanks, Film. And Chris says, if Naka ever wins WWE title, he will be Triple Crown champ plus former NXT champ. Robbie says, Matthew knows, LOL. Film says, no problem, Pete Cole. Sophie says, Sasha always walks out every time she doesn't get her own way. Walter says, Sasha Banks is doing Mandalorian again. And Matthew says, Film, I went to the eye doctor today and found out that I was on a bad contact lens prescription or my eyes got better. I don't know. I can see, though, LOL. How are you? Film says, come on, Sami Zayn, let's go.
Did you get a bump to your head?
Sophie says, people are I think Matthew always has a bump to his head. Literally. Like, it's a constant thing for him.
Get kicked by a mule, eyes go straight.
So, right? Sophie says, people are comparing the Sasha Naomi walkout to the Steve Austin CM Punk walkout. Film says, oh, Matthew, I'm sorry to hear that, dude. Is everything good with your eyes? Matthew says, Sasha is Snoop's child support, so she has that entertainer attribute with her natural life. Robbie says Ronda's a mug. Can't wait for her to lose.
And it's going to be a minute. It might even be all the way till WrestleMania for that one.
Right.
Against Becky.
Sophie says this week at the NBC Upfront, Raw is now being called a sports program instead of the entertainment program. Matthew says, Film, yeah, brother, I just have had a case of nearsightedness that seems to have improved. Walter says Sami Zayn will lose. Sophie says nobody in the locker room in the WWE supports both Sasha and Naomi. Walter says, okay, Julie, the next commercial trivia. Yes. I will get there. Matthew says, Robbie, I hope things can redeem herself with this run. WWE is like a pro athlete's life after real sport. With all due respect to the business. Film says, okay, Matthew, take good care. All right. Robbie's like, hello, D on fast forward mode. LOL. Film says, hey, Robbie, good to see you. How are you? Right. Sophie says, so Asuka getting Bianca at the Hell in a Cell. I wonder who Ronda going to get at that pay-per-view now. Did you get that? Asuka getting Bianca at Hell in a Cell. Who's Ronda going to get?
We don't know yet. That's the problem. There's just not a lot of women on SmackDown.
Matthew says, YouTube Film, by the way, who do you want to see tonight? Robbie says, do you talking as fast as Usain Bolt runs? Luke says, I think WWE shouldn't do things differently, but how does Sasha and Naomi walking out on a bad story, quote unquote, help all the other women's stars like they claim to do? It doesn't do anything but make the women's worse. It was purely selfish by Sasha and Naomi. Matthew says, oh, bumps to head aren't that bad. And that's only if it's not a work. I mean, you know, if it's a work, it's a different story. But if it's not a work, it is purely selfish also by both of them. Matthew says...
even if it was not a work, they can turn it into a work.
Yeah.
And work with this. Because this is, I mean, obviously, every wrestling fan's talking about it. So it could be a big deal. So keep it going. I mean, it's instant heat for the company. It's instant heat for the women. It's beautiful. You can't look at it any other way as. I mean, if you're in the business.
Right.
It's not like anybody hurt anybody besides, you know, Becky. But Becky saved the show. Becky went to Vince and said, you know, let's do a one-on-one.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of, because it was a 6-pack. So instead of having Doudrop and ASH in there, Becky's like, let's just get them out of there. It'll be me and Asuka, and then we'll put Asuka over.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have her pin me. And what? Okay, let's go. Roll with it. So it was Becky's idea.
Right. Hurry, just real quick. Trivia question, and then Charles can keep talking. What did Roman Reigns trap Braun Strowman inside of at Great Balls of Fire 2017? Anyways, we're at a commercial break, just so you know.
Yeah.
It was Sami Zayn and Nakamura that were in the ring. I thought Travis might actually call the match after I was done reading. But he stopped. And then he was like, blah, 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 about crap that we've already hashed over 500 million times.
I haven't talked about anything that's been talked about.
Robbie says, Matthew, I agree. Matthew says, Robbie, LOL. Matthew says, the T-Rex can't even process Miss D, LOL. Sophie says, with Sasha and Naomi walking out, that changes the rest of the card for future pay-per-views featuring those women. They probably don't write the stories that far out anyway, Sophie, so it probably doesn't really matter.
I mean, the rumor is that Vince tears up the script on Monday and rewrites it anyway, so.
Yeah, so see, it doesn't really matter, does it?
I feel like that's just par for the course what happened on Monday. He probably didn't even panic.
Yeah. Robbie's like, film, who you looking forward to watching tonight? Matthew says, bad publicity is better than none. Sophie says, I could see them put the walkout in storylines like they have done before.
Why not?
Robbie says, the women's roster is terrible these days, not going to lie.
It is. It's absolutely terrible.
Walter says, come on, Nakamura.
I think with Esther as the champion of Raw, though, they're doing a pretty good job with her. They did have her on like Good Morning America. They're pushing her through that way. And that's what they need.
She was at the Kentucky Derby, too.
That's what they need is the face of the franchise out in front. And she's American, which helps.
Right.
Where Becky's not an American.
Is she not, though?
She's not. She could marry into it. She can get papers, but she's not a true full-blooded American.
Is Esther really a true full-blooded American, though?
Absolutely.
Is it because she married a Marine?
She's born in Tennessee.
That doesn't mean that you feel like you're a full-blooded American. Some of these people who are born in America hate America. So that doesn't mean that they are good for America.
We're just talking about facts. Like, she was born in America. She's an American. I don't care what her beliefs are. I'm just saying that she's an American.
Sophie says, I feel bad for all the women that was supposed to be in that six-pack challenge. Matthew says, Cola, you were deep. Robbie's like, Nakamura hit the finisher. Matthew says, all those. P-Quill's like, hello, no, I just like Anchorman. Ayla's in the chat for a second. A lunchbox dumpster full of emotion. Nice. Walter's like, Johnny Elite didn't help Joe after their match on AEW. We're back. The answer to the trivia question was an ambulance.
Ambulance. All right. Looks like Sami Zayn and Nakamura going at it. Nakamura got a little bit of fire in him. Indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Okay, we are watching wrestling.
There's nothing happening.
Pepto. Yes, there is.
This is 5 minutes ahead.
Sami Zayn is...
That's why I said, and Nakamura's going to go off on him right here.
Sami got him in a chokehold.
I have
And
the
now they're
crystal
running
ball
across the thing, and then
right here.
Nakamura kicked him in the face.
That's what I'm saying. Now it's a 50-50 contest. But anytime something exciting happens, it's time to rest. You don't want to keep the fans going. Boom. Look at Nakamura going right after him. Kicks, knees, with the educated feet by Nakamura. Nakamura into the ropes. There's a drop kick right to the side of the head. Sami Zayn bounces up into the corner. Nakamura going to end it right here. Nope. Sami got his feet up. Got kicked in the back of the head. Watch this. Slides out. The baseball slide.
Ouch.
Boom. Backdrop.
That might have hurt his head a little. Sophie says, with Naomi married to Jimmy Uso, what she did this past Monday could possibly affect him in some ways in future storylines.
Yeah, he has to find another ride home. He don't have a driver's license. 1, 2. Oh, Sami Zayn.
Uber.
Yeah, he doesn't do good with those. He ends up driving himself.
Walter says, hey, Ayla, and Robbie says,
nothing good happens.
A failed UFC fighter and now failed WWE wrestler and Ronda, LOL.
JBD. She's the world champion. How she failed? But it's funny.
She is a failure to everybody.
She's a failure.
To herself, even. JVD's like, Pico, I take it you didn't get my last message, LOL. I don't think so, JVD. I read all the messages, and I don't remember one to Picola from you. Matthew says, I love America so much that it gets me in trouble.
Yeah.
Walter's like, oh, Lost in Film says, go, Sami Zayn, go. And JVD says, what up, Ayla? Sophie says, we are almost in summer. Matthew says, Lunch Dumpster is our band name.
Lunch Dumpster. Whoa! Sami drops him right down.
Pico's answer to the trivia question was a glass case of emotion. That's why dumpster and lunchbox case of emotions happened.
Yeah, what they all locked him in.
Yeah.
Nakamura got back in at 9.5.
What? 9.5. Jacob Jean says Travis was Johnny Elite, John Morrison.
Yes. Johnny Morrison.
Ayla says, I was born in America, but I identify as an Irish Norwegian from Africa.
Freedom of choice.
Vindicator says, Travis, has Nakamura done anything special recently to deserve a one-off title shot with the Rominator?
No, not really, but it doesn't work that way in WWE. They'll just give it to him anyways. And he just beat Sami Zayn, so that counts, right?
Pico's like, I hopped in the shower. What's up, JVD?
Sami Zayn wins,
hello,
by the
Ayla.
way.
Wonderful to see you. Matthew says, the fans are lazy these days. Ayla's like, not much, won't be here long. Walter's like, Ayla is cool in chat and at Travis' house for pay-per-views, LOL.
You cannot
Walter,
get
you're
mad
so
at the
sweet,
fans.
Ayla.
If the wrestling's good enough, the fans won't be lazy.
And Nakamura won with a good, cheap fruit roll-up. Good for him. Use those fruit roll-ups for good. Just kidding. Poor Sammy, he lost.
I know, and I love Sammy lately. I don't like this losing, but Nakamura needs something. He just can't lose every week either.
No, he can't.
This is an absolutely perfect match. And then next week they should wrestle again and then have Sammy go over.
Right? Johnny,
Unless Sammy's already won. Did he win last week?
I thought he won one time.
Yeah,
but
he
maybe
might have
he
already
didn't.
done it. So
Johnny Autism Wrestling says, if RK Bro don't win tonight, I'm going to be so pissed. I'm going to be really pissed because there's always a freaking bloodline. It's better than RK Bro.
wait, what? So he wants RKO to win, but the bloodline's better.
I don't think he meant it that way,
Nah.
but that's how it got typed in there. It was like, Walter is the coolest in chat. And Jacob says, should I go watch them in Cape Grenade? Garadu? I don't know what that means.
Grenada? Grenada?
Grenada, maybe?
Grenada is a country.
Walter says, okay. Film says, come on, Sammy, don't give up now. Jacob message retracted. Sophie says reports are saying that both Sasha and Naomi were mad way before that meeting with Vince. Film says, go, Sammy, go. I don't even think they had a meeting with him, really, but whatever. Pico says, oh, no. Milk was a bad choice.
Okay, Anchorman's my favorite show. Don't get me started on it. Oh, San Diegans?
San Diegans?
That's-
Walter says, drink cold water for hot, warm weather.
San Diegans?
Walter says...
San Diegos? San Diegites?
Phil says,
What is
no, come on, Sammy, you were this close.
Poop.
Walter's like, Nakamura won, yes.
Poop,
And Phil's
poop
like,
mouth.
no. Poop, you have a poop
Why'd you
mouth.
say that about my city?
I was like, Sammy is great with his character. Vindicator says, Ayla, did you learn your baking skills from your Norwegian heritage? LOL. It was like, Walter is my BFFB, best friends forever, beesh. Looks like with Nakamura winning, I wonder if he'll interfere tonight in the tag match.
That would be an interesting turn of events.
Matthew's like, OMFG Uso promo crap, really?
Baron Corbin.
Sophie's like, with Sasha walkout, maybe that is when Bayley returns to fill the spot Sasha was supposed to be in. Matthew says,
Rush
no
her
one
back.
cares. I promise. OMFG.
Hey, she's been on Twitter and she's been hinting at it. So I could
She's
see.
coming back.
Yeah, she says something about like 2022. Maybe it's time to get my start. Things like along that nature.
Oh, okay.
Like,
Walter's like, thanks, Ayla. And Jacob Hadrian says, Matthew is the coolest in chat in the town. They are going to be in June 11th. Sophie says, remember the show 8 Simple Rules for Dating My Teenage Daughter? It is now on Disney+.
no,
I don't.
I can honestly say I've never heard of that.
Never heard or seen that. It was like, Matthew, Judy sucks blood.
Is it a scripted television show or was it like a reality show?
I think it was like a movie.
Oh, never mind. I definitely don't know it. That's pretty cool.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe it was a show on TV. I don't know because I've never seen it. I didn't even know it was a show. Ayla said that. David Hudson is in the chat. Hey, David says SmackDown shit so far. You didn't like seeing Nakamura win?
We get Jade Cargill has a title match at Double or Nothing
Good for her.
against Anna Jay.
Yeah, Jay's going to lose. And if she doesn't, that'll be weird. All right, here is a trivia question. Whom did Brock Lesnar beat in the finals to become King of the Ring in 2002? Matthew says Jimmy tried saying a knee injury would mess with his ability to walk a line. A little poor excuse. JVD says Piccola, never mind. My message keeps getting deleted. What are you saying in it?
Change some words.
You gotta space
Use
out some words, my friend.
Emojis and all sorts of...
Walter's like, boo, happy Corbin. Film says, seriously, Baron Corbin needs to change his skin. Like, it's boring, in my honest opinion. He needs to change his skin.
Well, I don't know what they're doing. Why are they keeping this going? And then he just broke, what's his name, Madcap's neck. And now all of a sudden, what?
They're going to have another match.
Well, how?
With
If his neck's broken?
neck.
Are you
Bryce,
saying that he's smart or stronger than Drew McIntyre? Remember, they did the same thing to Drew McIntyre at day one.
true.
So it's the same thing. So he can't be back in time for Hell in a Cell or whatever is next.
Yeah, I don't know. Bryce says, go away, Baron Corbin. You're boring. Seriously, so boring. David Hudson's like, crappy Corbin. Matthew's like, Al blows, and we just compliment each other, yin and yang. Sophie says, it's a sitcom with John Ritter as the star, his final show before he passed away. Oh, okay,
Oh, wow.
sitcom. Yeah, never
I
saw
did
it.
not know that.
Luke says the 8 Rules show was John Ritter's last show and a great sitcom. I'll take your guys' word for it. I'm never going to watch it. Pickle says, do you have Insta yet, JVD? And Bryce says, I hope Bianca still retains her championship. It looks like hearts, Judy, hearts. Sophie says, RVD. Oh, yeah, you're answering the question. Luke says it had Kaylee Kuko from Big Bang as one of the daughters.
Well, that's great.
Huh.
I think I kind of remember him being in a sitcom where he was a dad. And it was like in the late 90s, early 2000s. I never watched it, though, but I remember him.
That must be it, I guess.
And did he have 3, or did they already just say that?
No, nobody said how many
Did he have 3 daughters? But that
They
could
just
just
said
be
that
my
Kaylee
imagination
Kuko was
also.
one of the daughters. Luke said that. Jacob Jean says, so do you guys follow Corbin on Instagram? Do you see what he posts on Instagram?
I probably do. I don't get on Instagram very often anymore now that I'm on Twitter. She does the Instagram stuff.
JVD says Pickle and not just TikTok. LOL. Sophie says it also starred Katie Siegel and the girl that played Penny in The Big Bang Theory. Well, there's like Oscar versus Balor and Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. Matthew's given us a whole bunch of emojis of fruit baskets and cows and cool and drinking cowboys. Sophie says there is talk of them giving Madcap Moss a gimmick change. Pickle says, oh, I don't use TikTok, JVD. It looks like Sophie Kayla Kuko was Penny. Walter's like, on Disney Plus, they're doing more Star Wars. Oh, Barfo. Oh, fantastic. Matthew's like, Raquel, where is she filmed? Do you like her? Sophie's like, I couldn't type the name. Matthew's like, I want taco-flavored kisses.
Taco-flavored kisses.
You're not close enough to the border to get taco-flavored kisses.
You have to be
Taco-flavored kisses. Taco, taco,
at
burrito,
Taco Bell?
burrito. Taco, taco, burrito, burrito. Taco-flavored kisses. Sophie says he had $2 and 1 cent on the show. Pickle says, Corbin's a big griller. Lots of beef. It looks like, it's a beautiful day, and I can't help myself from smiling. I don't know where that quote's from. Sophie says David Spade replaced John Ritter on the show after he died.
Oh, wow.
Film says, Matthew, of course I like her. Can't stop talking about her armpits. Now stop saying thing for Bliss and everybody else I like in WWE. I love my women. And it's like Valium and wine. Valium and wine. Looks like Kayla Kuka has been in only 4 big shows, and all of them were big successes. Charmed, 8 Simple Rules, Big Bang, and now The Stewardess. She was in Charmed? What? Like the original Charmed? Luke? Seriously. I don't remember her being in Charmed. The answer to that trivia question was Rob Van Dam. We got Rob Van Dam. You're amazing. Chief Detective Martha's in the chat saying 2 weeks they're coming home to my hometown of Chattown. And has Dalate, legendary sports announcer of the Chicago Cubs, Harry Carey, once said, "Let me hear ya."
I like him. I don't think I could do his voice.
The mouth-breathing
No.
moron.
He like kind of had a longer voice. I can't do it.
Harry Carey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely legendary voice. They, what's his name? Will Ferrell always teases it. He does it almost perfect.
What do you mean longer voice? Like he makes his syllables like go out longer or something?
Mm-hmm.
Sophie says Disney Plus announced a new Daredevil show is coming on the way, but not sure if it's a full-on reboot or a continuation from where it left off from on Netflix. And Walter says, okay, happy talk. Boo. It was like, it's Cartman in the World War Z episode. I don't remember that quote. Matthew's like, Pelosi likes Valium, Oxycontin, and vodka. LOL, that's my political talk for the night. LOL, thanks, Luke.
That they could sing at least as good, if not better than you. Yeah. Makes you feel at home. Yeah. Feel comfortable. Whereas if you had a good voice, you said you would be intimidated. Yeah, right. They lose their inhibition and everybody turns it into a party.
It was like Z and not 2. I said Z. World War Z. Pretty sure I said Z. Sophie said she was in the final season of Charmed. I totally forgot about that. The final, that's why I haven't seen the final season of the actual, like, real Charmed, like the original Charmed.
The Florida Marlins. It sure is exciting, Norm.
Yeah, well, certainly is.
Tough to say, Norm. On one hand, you've got the Marlins. Now
That's fine.
You should appreciate. Why is everybody growing mustaches? Dax Wilder's doing that too.
I don't know. Because they're weird. Chris says, I saw a meme that said Roman was going to smash Drew one night and smash Gunter the other night at Clash of the Castle, and how WWE has no faith in anyone else but the Roman machine. Walter says, yes, got it. And Luke says she's one of the main characters in the final season. She has a sister that was evil.
Evil.
Was the vel. Bryce says, F Nancy Pelosi, Matthew, boo, Baron Corbin, boo. And Sophie says she was also on one of the Law & Order shows as a guest star. Matthew says, I like serious Corbin.
I like serial rapist or apist myself.
Walter's like, yes, Corbin got fined. Sophie's like, I mean in the early days. Derek Murchison is in the chat. Hey, Derek. Says, hey, new to the channel from North Carolina at work. What did I miss? Hey, thanks for joining us, Derek. You missed,
give us a thumbs up while you're in there.
A couple of matches.
We had the Bloodline start out the show.
They started, they talked. They didn't do any wrestling.
We are going to get the unification of the Tag Team Championships probably for the main event tonight. Then we had Sami Zayn versus Shinsuke Nakamura, and Nakamura won that. And now we have Baron Corbin in here, or whatever they call him.
Happy Corbin is in there talking on his Happy Talk about Madcap Moss and how he broke him.
As he hurt Madcap.
And then he got fined for breaking him. It's all a big mess of crazy.
But money doesn't matter.
Money doesn't matter.
Money don't matter.
Matthew says, yay, Bryce. And Sophie says, Hocus Pocus 2 is going to be on Disney Plus this September.
I heard about that.
How dare they ruin such a good, epic thing by putting out Hocus Pocus 2. How are they going to do it,
God,
2?
He huffed and puffed.
Because he's a wolf.
Yeah.
Matthew says, boo, Bryce, LOL. Luke's like, was evil. A final season of an original charm. It was like, you did say
God.
Z. I just wanted to clarify it's zombies, not Hitler.
He's breaking his trophy.
I figured it was zombies. Bryce says, I don't like politics, but the only person I can't stand in politics is definitely Nancy Pelosi. Jacob Eugene says, Travis, did you hear... What?
Oh, Skeletor.
Skeletor, I know, right? This one lady on TikTok does a fantastic impersonation of her. It's hilarious as fun. She, like, puts her eyebrows on herself, and she puts them on like this. I think I showed you her. It's a funny shit. Hilarious. Hilarious.
What a disrespectful thing to do to Andre the Giant.
Oh, my God, that's terrible.
And Baron Corbin's won that trophy before.
He has. His name
on
there.
Now he's completely destroyed the trophy.
His name is on there. Or was on there. This piece of trash. Jacob says, Travis, did you hear that the St. Louis Cardinals called up their number 1 prospect, Nolan Gorman?
I did not. He's on my fantasy team. That's fantastic. Do you know he strikes out 37% of the time at AAA? But he's hit something like 12 or 13 home runs already. And he's batting like 270 to 300, somewhere in that range. But in the pros, he's probably going to bat about, because, you know, the professional pitchers are going to pitch him differently. They're going to take advantage of that whiff rate. And so it's going to be nuts. But I'm excited to have him up because he could hit 35, 40 home runs a year easy with his power. He was a third baseman. He was the top prospect at third base for the Cardinals, but then they signed Nolan Arenado.
Okay.
And so obviously he was roadblocked because Nolan's there for the next 7 years or whatever it is. And so they moved him to second base. And so he's a third base power hitter playing in the middle at your keystone. Well, thank you for telling me that. I was going to get on my phone earlier today, and I just didn't do it. I try to check my fantasy about 2 or 3 times a week.
Ella says, was a vowel. Sophie says, the final season of Charmed isn't that great compared to the previous seasons. Bryce says, Matthew, your thoughts on Gunter. JVD says, you like what, Travis? What did you say you liked? What'd you say?
I said serial rapist, but it's serial apist. Which is funny because we had a new person come in the chant right when I said it. So the first thing he heard was, I like serial rapist. But anyway, serial apist. It's a Kelly Kruko or whatever her name is movie.
Kaylee Kuko.
That broad.
Penny was in it.
I call her
Not
Penny.
Kaylee Kuko, but Penny was in
Penny.
it. Off, Big Bang.
What's Homeboy's name here? I always get it wrong. Not Gunther, but this guy.
I don't know.
Nice.
Friedrich Romanski.
No.
I don't know. They only say it before he starts talking, and I wasn't looking at it. So.
Oh, he's going one-on-one with Drew Gulak again.
Look back in your stuff last week. I'm sure he's on there.
He is, but I don't like to do that. The Battle of the G's.
Right?
Something Kaiser. They just said his name.
Ludwig Kaiser.
Ludwig, yeah.
Guther? Did Cole really just call him Guther?
That's what they've changed it to. They keep changing it, and now it's like Guther. That's what the guy said. And so now Cole's just saying what he says.
Yeah. Okay, Cole, you don't have a German accent, so please stop. It's creepy. Nobody likes you when you're weird.
He's from Austria, Gunther, in real life.
Oh.
And that's why it was so weird when he came up with this name, because this guy's like a Nazi war hero. And so people were pissed about it.
That's funny.
Gunther Stark was his name.
Huh. Trivia question. Which superstar did Braun Strowman pin at Night of Champions 2015 as part of a 6-man tag team match to win his pay-per-view debut match? Boo, Gunther, Jacob's extra Travis. He got to start today.
Good deal.
That's cool. I think I missed something. Oh, there. Chris said Corbin looks like Tommy and see if you know, you know. Bryce says boo, Corbin, boo. Baron Corbin. Derek says, oh no, not Corbin. Ayla says, repeat that voice typo, Travis, haha. Sophie's the only complaint I see relating to AEW Dynamite was that the main event was rushed. Matthew says, champ, check out Danger 5 and Johnny Hitler, lol. Luke says, Sophie, the finals season of Charmed was different, but good. Walter's boo, Corbin broke their trophy. Matthew says, Bryce, Gunter was the Fourth Reich. Still, till I started believing in Nazi time traveling, he's totally the third.
Oh, yeah.
Sophie's with streaming services and movies, it's a lot easier for people that can't go to the movie theater to see the movie for whatever reason. As Chris Akane says, Gunter time. Walter's boo, Gunter. Jacob says, actually, Travis, he got to start today. Bryce says, okay, interesting. Matthew, was there a character from Disney called Kick Butowski named Gunter? Matthew says with all of these streaming services, it's easy to get fished into an echo chamber. Bryce says Gunter is friends with Kick Butowski. Matthew's like, rapist, whitest kid you know. LOL. Walter's like, YouTube, don't get Travis for saying that. And JVD says, Penny is my dream girl. Ayla's like, hey, I have to go. See you tomorrow, Miss D. See the rest of you clowns on Monday. Night, Walter. Haha. Bye, Ayla. Have fun tonight. Vindicator says, I noticed both Gunter and Ludwig have very big ears. They must be experts at eavesdropping. Walter's like, okay, Ayla, be safe. Vindicator says, bye, Ayla. Wait, I overdid it. Film's like, I'm probably sure that Drew Gulak going to lose.
Oh, yeah. He's getting his ass kicked right now, as a matter of fact.
Matthew says, Bryce, I never watched much
Like
Disney
Chop.
aside from DuckTales, Tailspin, Chippendale, and Darkwing Duck After School. Got a couple years.
Boom.
Walter's like, Seth Rollins. Matthew's like, be safe, champ. And Sophie says, Travis, do you do fantasy baseball?
I do.
He does. Matthew's
It's the
like,
only
"Hello,
fantasy sport I'm in
Vinay, la,
anymore.
la."
I gave up on all the other ones. I used to be in all 4 of the major sports in America. There's soccer in Europe, but I don't do that. I wouldn't know. Shit, I knew 2 people that played soccer.
That's funny.
And I can't name both of their names.
Right.
Messier and Ronaldo or whatever.
Yeah.
Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah.
That's it. And now I can't say the first guy's name anymore.
Messier.
Because that's wrong.
Oh.
Messi. It's like Messi.
Messier.
Anyways, he was the best until Ronaldo came along.
The answer to that trivia question was Chris Jericho.
Oh, Jericho 2 and 3. Gunther with the dub. Basically, just dominated this poor dude.
Well, of course, it's Drew Gulak. Robbie's like, what is Corbin going to do? I don't know.
Just break trophies.
Break trophies.
And pout until Madcap comes back. I thought this would already be over, this feud, but they kept it going. They're like, people want to see this. That's what they want.
Right. Want to see people being tortured. Vindicator says, Walter, how come you don't like Gunter? He used to be named Walter. Sophie's like, I tried doing fantasy wrestling, but I kept losing, and I gave up doing it.
It's Ricochet coming out.
Ricochet. Jeez. Bryce says, okay, Matthew, got you. Sophie says, it's not Gunter now.
Are they going to put a title on him already?
I don't know.
That's kind of a big deal if they do that, because there's no way Ricochet's beating him.
Right.
It wouldn't make any sense. But it's weird to put a title on him already also.
Walter's like, Vindicator, that's my opinion. Matthew says, Gulak is doing the jobs, though. Sophie says, Reigns. Walter's like, oh, lost. And Film says, Drew Gulak just lost. Walter's like, Gunther won, okay. Vindicator's like, okay. Matthew's like, LOL, Ricochet, LOL. Robbie's like, Gunther, so boring. Sophie says, AEW seem to have time.
Hey, look who's there.
Weeks. LA Knight.
LA Knight.
Vindicator
He's
says,
been here for 5
LA
weeks
Knight.
in a row. 5 weeks in a row. They
He's
basically
now Max Dupree.
Max Dupree.
He's Max Dupree.
Oh, Lord. Why do they change their names when they come up? I mean, they gave him the name LA Knight anyways.
Maybe he wants to keep maximum male models. MMM. Male models. Phil's like, oh snap, they changed his name. Sophie's like, are
So
they
who's
setting
it
up
gonna
Revolution
be?
versus Gunther AC champion feud match? That's what Travis was thinking, Sophie.
Who's going to be in his stable?
Who's going to be in the male models?
Yeah, the maximum male models. Sonya Deville hired him. Yeah, that's awkward for you, Postman Pierce.
Why is he all in his personal space? It's so creepy.
Max Dupree. Max Dupree. No, you're doing it wrong. It's like Fandango. Got to do it right.
It's Max Dupree.
Pre.
Very excited. You got to be excited with the pre
Riddle
part.
and Orton coming up next.
Robbie's like, Maxwell seems like a loser. Film says they changed Eli Drake's name, or no, I should say LA Knight. Matthew says,
Kennedy!
Dupree, Max Dupree. I swear if Sonya starts wearing a dick. Oh, God, Matthew.
What the fuck?
Oh, my God, Matthew.
Jesus.
Stop drinking the moonshine, my friend. All right, here's a trivia question for you. Which future WWE champion defeated Jeff Hardy via knockout in his first official WWE match at Backlash 2002?
So on not Rampage, on what's the one on Wednesdays? Dynamite. Serena Deeb came out and she like spilled her heart, right?
Okay.
For all women, and especially the women on the wrestling roster. So everybody was relating, everybody's vibing with her. Well, she went. They instead of cutting the segment and doing it at a different time, they left it, and so it left the main event with like 6 minutes left. And so a lot of people are upset by it. But not only that, but as she was saying stuff, the crowd was so detached from what she was saying that they just were doing the Stone Cold, what? And she's like talking about how she had to shave her head and get fake boobs to fit in, and how the men and all these old perverts, you know. So like,
I stopped listening to her too. You're the one that got into the crap.
And then people are like, well, they never give Thunder Rosa any TV time. She runs down there and gets knocked out, and then they cut off the air. They're like, go. Shit's funny. And then Britt Baker had a match right before that. And they're like, you've got to end this match. So if you guys were watching it, it was like really competitive. And then all of a sudden, Baker threw a glove on and it was over.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, it's not even, she hasn't even worn her out yet. And all of a sudden the girl's like, It's like,
Maki
seriously,
Ito.
you guys have no time left. And then after that, they had to do the Dustin Rhodes thing, which I'm sure Dustin wants out of that company now. And then we had the main event, which was super rushed because they had to get 6-7 guys in there to fight each other. And Sting and freaking, oh God, what's his name? Kyle O'Reilly. Got to be the worst segment in the history of the sport of wrestling. Kyle O'Reilly goes to hit Sting with a chair. Sting catches it. And O'Reilly's doing this thing. It's just like, oh my God.
He did't sell it very well.
Oh my God,
what
he's
you're
just
saying.
shaking his whole body. And then Sting throws a chair right at his face. Just like, and he's like, oh.
He's like, you want to fake it? Here you go. I'll give you something to fake, buddy.
Oh, it was fucking hilarious.
Rob was like, that film says they changed it, Eli Drake's name, or no, I should say LA Knight. And and Walter said WWE NXT lost good talent going to top roster. Jacob says, Al, that's Eli Drake from TNA, right? And Luke says, that just made Kayla look like 3 feet tall, right? That back thing that they were doing. She was so tiny. Matthew's like, that is Eli Drake. Pico's like, sounds like garbage to me. Jacob's like, is Fandango even around anymore? No. Film's like, of course, Jacob. I watch a little bit of Impact Wrestling. No, he's not. He's not. He's not Fandango anymore, though. So, Walter's like, from TNA, that was Eli Drake. Film says, no, Jacob, they released Fandango. See? They released him. Robbie says, do you excited for Max Dupree? No.
Oh, it was.
Jacob's like, Al, I have actually met 2 TNA stars. Walter says, Bobby Lashley. Pico's like, Lesnar. Yeah, the trivia answer to the trivia question was Brock Lesnar. If you guys got it, congratulations. I was like, read the trivia question twice, please. Shit. Sorry, Matthew.
What's that dude's name?
I'll do that next time. Sophie says, LA Knight finally making his TV debut. Yeah. The Indicator says another pathetic name change of something that was not even his real name. Rip LA Knight in your jobber-ridden career.
Oh, it's over. when he did that and he's the next Fandango, I mean, maybe he'll have a couple years in him or something. It depends on what his music's going to be like also.
Film says, oh, that's cool, Jacob. And Matthew says, Maximus Douching. Sophie's like, they gave him a new name. Jacob's like, I met Abyss and James Storm. Film says, that's so cool, Jacob. Awesome, very awesome. Sophie says, I thought LA Knight was a perfect name. Chris is like, no, LA Knight is Max Dupree. He also is like Robert Stone. I was like, AEW had the ball. Fumble, fumble, fumble. Jacob says, so do you think LA Knight will be on the WWE the video game? I don't know, maybe.
Watch this. No, watch O'Reilly. So now he swigs. Now watch his.
He shimmies. What a fucking moron. So, God, they're so fucking pathetic. It's just a joke.
That's too much.
That place is a joke. Jacob says, so do you think LA Knight will be on WWE the video game? I have no idea.
I have the video game. I haven't looked to see if he's on there.
I don't know if he's on one of the releases.
But I bet he's not Max Dupree.
The indicator says Toasty looks good in orange. Sophie says AEW is like a minor league baseball team. Film says, oh, please don't unify both of those titles. Matthew's like, RK Bro will win because Juicy DUIOs is going to jail. Walter's like, oh, lost. And Film says, I don't like the change for the new tag team titles, in my honest opinion.
Those might not be them, guys. It's just a picture floating around on the internet.
Looks like, what the fuck, did Kayla shrink or did Riddle and Orton take Miracle Grow? I think she just wasn't wearing her highest heels she normally wears.
She's a tiny
But
broad.
she's very tiny. She's a little tiny toasty marshmallow. Rob is like, the Usos are getting a bit boring to me. Matthew says, Misty, no need to apologize to me. Just a suggestion. Robbie says, Kayla looking piff. Chris says, Max Dupree is like Rene Dupree. Film says, Robbie, who are you going to cheer on, RK Bro or the Usos? Sophie says, I'm surprised TBS doesn't give AEW Dynamite like a 5-minute overrun most weeks like the USA Network does sometimes with Raw and NXT. Robbie says, not Ronda, the failed UFC fighter. And it looks like we got a Shotzi sighting.
And with Aaliyah. And we knew that was going to happen because of last week. It was instant heat. Shotzi sounds like she's in a bad horror film. She's like one of those actresses.
I like it. It's fine.
You stole my moment.
She's a good actress. That's fine. That's fine. Oh, jeez. This might be bad.
6
Aw,
feet
that's
of
sweet.
disappointment.
6 feet of disappointment.
Are they going to have a triple threat? She called her Ross Murda. I have no idea what she said.
Muerta. Death. Death, death, death.
All right, Raquel.
Death, 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 death. Death, death, death.
Rodriguez.
It's like, not Ronda, the failed UFC fighter. Vindicator says, what the hell is Randy wearing a hoodie with 420 on it? Coffee so cold with biblical reference kind of tasteless. Chris
They've
is
been
like,
doing that since 420 came out.
Chris says he's coming on the DLC as LA Knight. Sophie says Tyler Breeze is somehow could show back up on Up, Up, Down, Down. Jacob Jean says, Travis, I can't watch the Cardinals game tonight. And speaking of baseball, watch the Savannah Bananas. And Jacob says, thanks, Chris. Matthew says, Raquel Rodriguez, taco-flavored kisses. Vindicator says, come on, give Shotzi a title push. It's getting ridiculous this week in limited women's
6
roster.
6 feet of disappointment.
6 feet of disappointment. Luke says, oh, look, Sasha and Naomi walk out, and now Shotzi and Aaliyah is on TV.
Yeah, but they were on last week, to be
Yeah.
fair, because they locked each other when Ronda had an open challenge for the title. They basically eliminated each other
Yeah.
in the backstage.
Chris says, Shotzi time, babe, babe. Film says, yes, Raquel Rodriguez is here. Jacob says, is that Raquel? She is tall. Yeah, she's like 6 foot, Jacob. Sophie says,
And she
Tyler
got
Breeze.
flat boots on.
Yeah. Tyler Breeze is back with Up, Up, Down, Down. They announced it yesterday. I wonder how Austin Creed got that deal together. Chris says Shotzi is such a great heel.
He retired from wrestling, so
Yeah,
he's just a dude.
He's just a dude. Tyler Breeze is just a regular civilian guy, so he could do whatever he wants. And he can be on shows, and they're not going to care because he's not going to go back, running back to the other wrestling team and say, guess what they're doing? Nobody gives a shit anyways. They all have spies. I don't even know why it matters anymore. Is this considered a commercial?
Kind of. It's a WWE commercial, so no. It's on their airtime, not on Fox's advertisement time.
Robbie says, film none of they, as I'm not a fan of them. I don't mind Randy, though. Matthew says, Diesel baby. And Matthew says, I'm more excited for Raquel than boring Reigns. Vindicator says, love Raquel matching ring gear and muscle flexing. Film says, it's armpit time. I love WWE women's armpits. Robbie says, why do wrestlers need to wipe their feet before they enter the ring?
So have you ever played basketball or any other sport? You got to get the dust off your shoes.
Right.
And it might have some, like, what would that be considered? Superstition also. Yeah. And I don't know that part of it, but I do know that when you're going to play basketball or whatever, you have to wipe the dirt off your feet so your sneakers stick. You know that.
True.
You know what it sounds like when you play basketball?
Mm-hmm.
If you have dust all over your shoes, you're sliding all over.
Yep. Here's a trivia question. Which WWE superstar won back-to-back #1 contender matches at Fastlane 2015 and Fastlane 2016 for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania 31 and WrestleMania 32? Again, which WWE superstar won back-to-back #1 contender matches at Fastlane 2015 and Fastlane 2016 for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania 31 and WrestleMania 32?
Fastlane. Up in the Fastlane.
Matthew's like, marijuana is cool. Get hip, y'all. No, we do not condone people doing drugs. No. The answer is no.
No drugs.
No.
Unless it's legal and you're of age.
Yeah. Film says, okay, Robbie. Robbie says that a night guy seems like he's going to end up washing the dishes in Thursday. Titus Catering, LOL.
He's one of the
LA night guy.
Yeah, he's one of the best talkers in the history of the sport, though. And Vince likes that. Mm-hmm. So as long as he wants to stay around, I think he'll have a spot. And, of course, he's going to be a manager.
Yeah.
And like
to male models. So, who could go wrong?
Maximum.
I mean, what
male
could go wrong?
The Triple M.
Sophie says, with Tyler Breeze back on Up, Up, Down, Down, that opens the door for other former WWE talent to show up on the channel at any time if they don't work for AEW or Impact. Yeah, they have to be free and clear of doing any wrestling at all. Chris says, Shotzi to Raw and team up with Alexa or Liv. Luke says, yeah, but they are on for 2 weeks in a row, LOL. Matthew's like, Robbie, respect, just like wiping feet before entering your parents' home. Robbie's like, Film, what about you, man? And Walter says, good SmackDown tonight. And Vindicator says, Sophie, you're a hoot, a riot even. Film's like, no, I want Bliss to team up with Liv. Then Sophie says, did you hear Stephanie McMahon is taking a step away from the WWE? That shocked everyone who works for the WWE, and Triple H is back working in the WWE offices full time.
Yep, one was home with the kids, now the other one is.
Robbie says, Matthew, cool. Walter says, Seth Rollins. And Jacob says, so Travis, when I managed that wrestler, I got in the ring and wiped my feet. I think it is for gripping the ring. Yep.
There you go.
Luke says, Sophie, do you not pay attention? Currently active WWE and AEW stars have been appearing on Up, Up, Down, Down and on G4 TV's Attack of the Show for the past months. Film says, Robbie, I guess the tables have turned. Well, to be honest, I have nothing against the Usos, but I kind of want to go for RK Bro to win this one. Vindicator says, Dalitha, if you could make your feminine physique similar to any female wrestler, WWE and AEW, who would you choose? I almost included Butch, but said, nah, that's an insult to any dignified human.
Adam Cole. No, I'm just kidding.
Jade Cargill.
You want to be all buff?
I could do that. It's either that or Dewdrop, one way or the other. I'm halfway to the dewdrop one, so I might as well probably just keep going down that road.
Do you want to eat yourself to one?
I want to eat myself to
Or do
be
you
a
want to
wrestler
exercise
physique,
yourself
or
to
do I
one?
want to starve myself to wrestler physique? Just kidding. Matthew says, when I was in wrestling school, we were taught to do that because we didn't want to wrestle with
Look at
trash
everybody's in the
we
back.
brought
There's
into the
Xylee.
ring from our foot
Got a little Xylee sighting.
adornments. It's also a way to establish face and heel.
Whoa! Rodriguez got kicks right in the face.
The answer to the trivia question that I repeated twice for Matthew's benefit was Roman Reigns.
I knew that one. Because he went on to Mania and lost both times.
Sophie says, so far this afternoon we walk out didn't affect the women division at the moment. Walter says, good live, Travis, and delete them. Thanks, Rob. Thanks, Walter. I appreciate that a lot. Robbie says, message retracted. And Matthew says, the story begins before we enter the ring. Film's like, oh yeah, I heard about Stephanie Man. Did you guys read about it too?
Yeah.
Oh, she fell down and almost got her, but she gave up.
Who wrote the Book of Glove?
Robbie's like, Sophie with the fake wrestling news. Matthew's like, Vin, what? LOL. Sophie's like, but I thought the WWE owns Up, Up, Down, Down. That's why that channel hasn't been offering content the past few months. Bryce says, wait, what's going on with Stephanie McMahon?
She just stepped away to spend time with her family, is what's reported.
She's taking some time away from WWE.
A leave of absence is what we call it.
There's nothing wrong with it. With all the things that have been going on with Triple H, I'm pretty sure she wants to be around her family more. It's fine. It's fine.
Panic.
She has a choice to do that. Walter's like Gonzalez for the
Whoa.
win. Chris is like, Shotzi, get the fruit roll up. And Robbie's like, Sophie, just stop, please. Matthew's like, Raquel is WWE's answer to Thunder Rosa. Film's like, Natalia, yes. Luke's like, Sophie, Up Up has been going for almost 3 months now, and several stars have been on it from WWE Impact and AEW.
Whoa. Raquel showing her athleticism at 6 feet.
Jesus. Walter's like, oh, Lawson. Film says, go, Rodriguez, go. And Chris says, Raquel looking like Tamina. Matthew's like, I don't want to say that bastard's name. Ravi's like, Shotzi getting tossed like a salad. Luke's
Boom.
like, I subscribe to Up, Up, Down, Down and watch all of its content. Chris is like, the Lotharios.
Lotharios. Look at this.
Oh my
And
God.
turns in midair.
What the fucking Jesus.
And Raquel finishes her off. We got Xylee in the back, though,
Lotharios
watching.
back there trying to talk to Aaliyah. So it was like, I've been watching Up, Up, Down, Down. I don't remember any talent from AEW or Impact appearing on it. Then here says, our Cargill style delete the physique would be an awesome transformation for sure. Would take a couple of years though. A dewdrop for all the flack I give her is still a decent athlete. Matthew's like, I love Raquel. And Vindicator's like, unlike Nia Jax. That's for sure. Dewdrop does kind of throw herself around a lot better.
Nia Jax has been putting on weight like crazy. I was looking at pictures of her just today, and it was
So he
bad.
says Up, Up, Down, Down has been going on for, 7 or 8 years at this point. Matthew says she's a powerhouse, her and Rhea. Oh, my fucking God. And Sophie's like, doesn't AEW have their own version of Up, Up, Down, Down? Looks like Up, Up didn't go live for a while due to Woods' injury.
There's Woods.
Who's back there talking to Toasty Marshmallow. Good for him. Matthew's like, that was an awesome match. Mad respect. Vindicator's like, Shotzi has won just one match since being on SmackDown. So ridiculous.
Hey,
but I
I'm
don't
okay
mind a
with that,
Raquel
though,
versus
because that
Ronda
match wasn't a
rematch.
squash match.
No, she got to hold her own.
So they gave the women a little bit of time there.
Sophie
And then they
says-
showed 4 of them in the back.
Yes. Sophie says it seems like they don't know where to put Humberto and Angel. Luke says, Sophie, do you just glance at things and rush on talk about them without any research or investigation? Chris is like, they blurred out Michael Cole saying Shagon and bomb because it's a curse words in Spanish. It means fuck, so fuck bomb.
They're like, beep.
Sophie's like, Up, Up, Down, Down was live for most of last year, even with Woods' injury. Matthew says Woods is doing some new muscle enhancement. Luke's like, message retracted. Matthew's like, LOL, Chris, and Luke's like, I instant messaged you a bit ago. Well, I'm sorry. I don't look at my phone constantly while I'm on here.
So is Butch going to go one-on-one with Woods tonight? That is huge, by the way, for Butch to win that against Kofi Kingston, former world champion. 1-on-1. It's a new day.
It's a new day. Yes, it is.
Sucka.
I'm tired of these people.
You're tired of the New Day. They barely even used since
Like what?
Big E got broken.
Yeah, it's real sad. They'll never be the same ever again. They should just get rid of it.
I don't like your personality right now. The New Day are like literally one of my favorite tag teams of all time. As long as Big E's in it. Big E's on his way to recovery. And then on his chest, he's like, I'm not getting any better.
Right?
Are you a son of a butch?
No, actually, I'm not.
Undertaker showing up at the Special Olympics.
He is too old to play at the
Not
Special
as an
Olympics.
athlete. The WWE sponsors it. And there's these kids out there, they're playing soccer, and he walked up and he's like, and this the one kid's like, how are you doing, sir? And he's like, how are you doing? And then the one kid's like, oh, I love you. He just run up there. He's like, I'm a huge fan. He's like, I heard.
He's a huge fan. Here's a trivia question for you. Who was the host of The Flower Shop? Who was the host of The Flower Shop?
I know this one.
As in flour,
Seymour,
not the kind you
Seymour.
bake with.
It's called Little Shop of Horror.
Seymour Butts?
No, that's a porno. No, just Seymour. Feed me, Seymour. Have you
No,
ever seen Little
Seymour
Shop?
Butts.
Little Shop of Horror, Little Shop.
Seymour Butts is actually a prank phone call thing, but yeah,
Seymour Butts is a porn company.
I don't know that. I'm glad that you know that information.
It was like a reality show on HBO when I was a kid.
Great. I didn't watch HBO when we were children because I was poor.
It's not called being poor. It's called putting your money aside and investing.
For things that are not something you want to have. Oh, like a big fat satellite because you live out in the country where you'd have to have one of those that costs like $2,000 fucking dollars. Pretty sure my mom would rather have put food on our table with that money.
Instead of having the big wire satellite dish.
Yeah. It was called Go Live Your Life Outside, Children, and Entertain Yourselves.
So-
Good job.
So this was me growing up. All my friends had those satellites. I had cable, so I was equal to them. But they had the Playboy channel. So it was like the only point in getting satellite television back in those days, and I'm talking like the 80s and 90s, was the Playboy channel. It's the only thing. Like that all of them would try to sell it to, you know, you don't have satellite?
No satellite.
Do you not watch the Playboy channel?
Don't watch your Playboy channel.
Okay, first of all, I'm 13. No, I don't. But I do get the magazine, and Nicole Smith was my first issue ever.
Phil's like, yes, she won. Not Nicole Smith, but somebody else. Sophie says Nick Khan is going to take over Stephanie's role until she decides to come back.
Yep.
Pickle's like, Toasty is a fun-sized fluffy Buffy. She is a fluffy marshmallow of goodness. Rob is like, oh, I'm not going to lie. A SmackDown has been wet tonight.
It's all right.
I'm hoping
I like
that
the girls.
means like a paper bag and that's a bad thing because that sounds disgusting. Matthew's like, it's a new Judgment Day. New Day turns heel. Pfft. Matthew's like, Rafi, I think you mean dry. Vindicator's like, Travis, hypothetically speaking, you think if Dalitha was on WWE or AEW as a manager, she could be that bitch a la Jade and teach Vicky Guerrero how not to be an annoying prick?
Well, she's a tall broad. So she'd be like one of the taller girls on there. Not that that matters, but I don't know how much fun she'd have as a wrestler, but
Matthew's like, I don't mind it wet, giggity. Gross, Matthew. So gross. Rob is like, hello, now Matthew, defo wet. Jacob says, so Denton Woods used to team up with R-Truth, and I was a Special Olympic athlete.
oh, and trust me, if they wanted to give her any of Vicky's stuff, she could pull off Vicky's voice, I'm pretty sure, and just tear your guys' ears completely out of your head.
Plug your ears. Plug them. I'll give you
God.
some Vicky girl. Excuse me! Excuse me!
It might have been time. Oof. Yeah, she could shatter glass.
Jacob's like, so didn't Woods used to team up with R-Truth, and I was a Special Olympic athlete. Well, that's cool. You were a Special Olympic athlete. That's
So
awesome.
Butch just slapped Sheamus across the face. They're like, who is this guy?
Chris says, tonight you're going to go one-on-one with The Undertaker, Playa, Hella Holla, and Teddy's long voice.
She
Becky's
is planning on playing that video game for you guys this weekend.
I'm going to try.
So there is creator safe mode. I'm glad I looked this up. If you don't have creator safe mode on, our channel would have got a copyright pop.
Oh, okay.
Because you can't use any of their music.
Oh.
So the entrances will just be cheering.
Oh, okay.
Unless we want to add music. Because we can add our own music to it. But I don't have any.
The answer to that trivia question was Adrian Adonis.
Look, he's coming up to Sheamus' music. He's even got the white. That's Butch.
Oh,
He really wants to do this by himself.
Matthew says Vindicator Miss D needs to be the GM of Raw. Robbie says he'll deal with the random jokes. Sophie's like, I could see Sasha and Naomi regret their decision and come back to the WWE.
So the ring announcer said with Ridge Holland and Sheamus, he's by himself.
But he's with them in spirit. Just kidding. I have no idea.
Xavier Woods, along with Kofi Kingston and Big E.
Looks like feed me, Seymour, feed me. Matthew's like Adam Rose don't be a lemon, be a rosebud.
Oh, I love that.
Robbie's like, didn't they do that joke on The Simpsons with Bart during prank phone calls? Yes, Robbie, that's where I got it from. Sophie says, I'm guessing we might get another King of the Ring tournament. Hopefully it is booked better than last year's. Well, considering we don't even have a King of the Ring at all anymore, who is it?
They gave it up.
Totally just disappeared. Like, it was gone. It's gone.
Yeah. Did they give up Zelina's too?
I don't think so, but maybe. Matthew's like, LMFAO Ravi.
That is super slow.
Yeah. Try this one down here.
There's another one. Oh.
Yeah, plug in one.
Yeah, it'll be way faster. Although it's not working.
It's like,
Unless it really just takes that long to register.
are you sure you want to charge this?
Oh, you weren't plugged in.
Oh, it wasn't plugged in all the way?
No.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
I didn't want to push it in there because I don't like that if I break it.
Oh, look at Butch. Look at that.
So he's like, I'm guessing or that. Matthew's like laughing my fucking ass off. Robbie says, what equals shit? Sophie says, at least after Hell in a Cell, we finally get new feuds and storylines for everybody since most of the feuds heading into the next pay-per-view have been going on for a while. Robbie says Raquel Gonzalo definitely goes all night till the early morn. Matthew's like, the chimney sweeps, and Robbie's like, thank you, D. I have lost my hearing.
If you guys didn't know, Raquel used to be a bigger lady.
Yeah,
you
she
can
used
look
to be
up her
heavier.
stuff when she was independent, and she's put in a lot of work on her body.
Mm-hmm.
That's why she's so proud of it.
Yeah. Robbie said that he lost his hearing. Good deal. Laughing while he said it. And Matt's like, laughing my fucking ass off. Holy fuck, haha, excuse me, haha, Misty, you're the best. So he's like, Woods also teamed up with Brodus Clay, and the fun fact, Woods teamed with R-Truth and Impact in the same way he debuted in the WWE all those years ago. Chris says, make sure you play as Yokozuna and do a Yokozuna bomb if you play 2K22. Matthew's like, Robbie, yes, sir, yes, sir.
So is Yokozuna on there then?
Yes.
I know we went through them.
I can't remember all
I'm
of
pretty
them,
sure he
but
was in
yeah.
there. And there's been some packs that have been downloaded I'm excited for.
Yeah.
But anyways, if you guys want to see her play this weekend, I'll get it all set up.
Yeah, I'll try to get on here and do it. I'll try to be excited about it. Sometimes I get kind of blah about playing video games.
And we can also mute the commentary, and we can just call the match
Oh.
as it's happening.
Sophie says they finally got a faction name for Sheamus's team.
Oh, did they? What was it, Sophie? So I can write it down.
Yeah, what was it? Miss Sophie, since you know
Is it
so
this
much.
the chimney sweeps?
Looks like Sean Ross Sapp just tweeted that he asked WWE backstage officials if Sasha and Naomi were suspended. As per reports, he said he was told to tube in to SmackDown to find out.
Tune
He
in.
is highly confused.
Tune in, yeah.
Looks like as to if this is a work or not now.
Right.
Rob is like,
No,
"D,
that's it."
recycling jokes.
Butch
People's
just
like,
lost.
I don't think that was necessary, D. My earbuds just broke in my head. I told you guys to watch your ears. When you say watch your ears, that means go like this.
Yeah, it doesn't mean get a mirror. Or turn your phone black and just stare at it. That'll make it worse. Yeah, Woods won that, by the
Woods
way.
won again. Oh, goody for him and his dumbness.
He beats Butch every time. I think he's beat him 3 times now.
Films like Here Goes Butch, and film says I think Sheamus is going to get backstabbed by Butch because he slapped them in the face.
No,
which is
no,
not
no, no.
okay. It was to get him hyped. You got to get them all hyped up when they're bad.
You want a friend like that that's all fiery.
Sophie says they probably trying to figure out how to make the Sasha Naomi walkout into a legit storyline. Vindicator says, so the only thing louder than Naxos barking or Travis saying you sound like you're from London is Dalitha channeling her inner Vicky G. Oh, I am very loud. Like, you know how you get you know how Travis, I tease myself about it too, that you could hear my whisper across the pond.
So
It's actually true.
there is no joke. There is a store from, it's got to be maybe 100 yards straight, maybe 150 yards straight this way. I guarantee if her and my buddy Kimball were having a conversation in the front yard, I would be able to hear him over there. As long as there was no traffic. Just talking.
Yep.
Not having not being loud,
Yeah.
but just having a conversation. And if her brother was there, it might even be worse.
I don't know if that's really a worse thing.
Well, worse as in noise.
It would just be a very higher decibel of noise.
It'd be about 130.
We're just very loud people, unfortunately. I can't help it. I seriously can't.
Throw Jeff in there too. Just you guys would all just.
Does Jeff talk loud?
Oh yeah.
I never thought he really talked that loud. I usually can't understand what he's saying, so. Matthew says, who is directing fashion in WWE? A belt isn't needed whilst wearing suspenders. Over accessorizing is a crime. Chris says, no Jamie Hayter tonight on Rampage.
So anyways, Woods just got his ass kicked by Butch from behind.
Good for him. He's so angry about it.
I like this feud. Obviously, Butch has got to win it when they move on to the
Right?
next
Robbie
thing,
says, D, why do you detest the New Day? I just don't like him, Robbie.
They got really stale when they moved Big E off the team.
They were okay
I
for a
understand
while,
it, but
it
that was
just,
for over a year. And so I get it. I get where you're coming from. When Big E wasn't there, they're dumb. Big
Right.
E makes that tag team. And it's actually Kofi and Big E are the best tag team, top 7 tag team in the history of the sport.
Right.
But then you have Woods, who was just better as the third wheel. And then when they made Woods more of a main fixture with Kofi and then took Big E out, it just wasn't the same team. You needed Big E and Kofi. That's all.
Yeah. There you go.
I get it. I understand the staleness and the of it.
Sophie says every time they update a patch for WWE 2K22, there's always some sort of problem to it. Chris says, no problem over here, Sophie. And Matthew says, they'll always be the chimney sweeps to me.
Oh, did we get their name?
No.
Sophie.
Sophie's
Type
never said
in the
because
name
she's
of the
too busy
team.
blubbering out garbage instead of giving real information.
Tell us the name of that tag team. Or if anybody else caught it. Or anybody else can rewind it.
I mean,
I can't
agree
rewind
with
it or I
Matthew.
would.
It's probably the chimney sweeps.
I
Let's
said
see. Luke says that's how video games work, Sophie. And Robbie's like, D, waking the dead with that loud impression. Maddie's like, Misty, you're a New Yorker at heart. No. I was just born and raised in the country. No, my whole family's that way, by the way. I think I just came by it rightfully. My
your
mom
mom
could
loud?
my mom could be very loud when she needed to be. Her voice carried also. In fact, my voice sounds exactly like my mom's voice. Like her whole family of her siblings, her sisters, all have almost the same exact voice. You almost can't tell them apart unless you know, because I knew my mom's voice, and so I could always discern when they were singing, who was singing between all the girls. because I could pick them out who was who. But their voices all sound the same. And then I listened to mine and I'm like, oh my God, it sounds just like my mom's. Which is cool. I mean, it's cool. We call it the Buller's voice, I guess you could say. My mom's family's name. I'm getting to it. I was just Matthew's comment. I'm catching up again. Robbie says Sophie just doesn't get it, LOL. And Shaquan is in the chat, says, hey guys, hey Shaquan. How's it going,
boss.
man? How are you doing? You having a good Friday night watching some
Excited
Smackdown?
for Smackdown. Unified
Vindicator
Tag
says,
Team
delete that.
Championships.
Do you have an older or younger brother? I have an older brother. One sibling. I have an older brother. Matthew says, Luke, people have grown to accept buying incomplete games. Robbie says, I agree with you on the New Day. Just wanted your thoughts. Yeah, I just, when they first started, they were fun and it was hilarious and they were entertaining and stuff like that. But I just got bored with them real fast. It takes a lot for me to like really like a wrestler and then stick with liking them. Because once I like them, like in a level of liking like I do with The Miz, it doesn't matter what anybody says about him. It doesn't say what you guys say about him. Just like with you guys and how you feel about guys, right? And your wrestlers and when you're fans. I do not play the willy-washy game. I don't care if he's popular, unpopular, or anything like that. I will always like him, no matter what. It doesn't matter. I've always been that way.
Right. I'm that way, and I like tag teams, and when they split tag teams up, I'll usually not like either one of them. Heart Foundation, don't like either one of them.
Right, because it was
Rockers,
better when they were
Rockers,
a tag team
I don't like
instead.
either one of them. Biggie, when he left, didn't like either one of them.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. I'm just...
Kofi Kingston, he was a singles wrestler before anyways, and so he was pretty good when he was a champion. I thought it was really kind of dirty how they did it with Brock, but...
Right. But he earned that, by the way,
He
because I didn't like it at first.
Yeah.
It took me like two months, and then I came around and I was like, I really like Kofi as a face champion. And
Yeah.
that's such a hard thing to do, is be a face champion.
Yeah, he did a really good job of not like how Belair's gone about it. I don't like how she does it, and so I can't stand
Well,
her.
she cheats.
I can't stand her character right now, and I probably will never like her. So that says Biggie and Kofi compliment each other. Woods is Marco's stunt. Luke says, Matthew, some of the best games I played recently were crap when released, but with the time have become top tier games like No Man's Sky, Cyberpunk, Red Dead Redemption 2 Online, and GTA V5 Online. Sophie says they're hyping the Unified Tag Championship match as a pay-per-view worthy match instead of a TV match with all the packages. Matthew says Misty is an American gal. Hell yeah. Robbie says, my dad is the same. He talks loud even when he doesn't mean to. I swear to God, I can whisper and people could hear me at my job across the building. So you could never come and tell me gossip, because if I had to say anything back, like everybody would know what was happening.
There it is. Here it is.
Sasha Banks and Naomi let us all down. They walked off the show and walked out the building.
How is this not a work if they're going this far?
They're talking about that six-pack championship opportunity.
They let us all down. McAfee's having a hard time with it. They are suspended indefinitely. A women's tag team tournament is on the way.
Well, we know that Shotzi and what's-her-face are probably going to be a team. What do you call it? What's her name?
Oh, God. Shotzi and Aaliyah?
Aaliyah, yeah.
A women's tag team tournament.
Let's see. Sophie says it's something sometimes gets annoying when a video game gets updated like every week or every month. Robbie says, yeah, D is defo All-American. You know, Sophie, the problem is you complain about it being bad. Now you're complaining about it updating so it can make itself better. Nothing ever makes anybody happy, right? Robbie's like, yeah, D is defo All-American. Looks like according to what I can find, there are no official WWE, AEW, or Impacts Impact teams called chimney sweeps. Who knows what they're called then? Supposedly they got a name, but nobody knows what it is. Walter's like, okay, bye guys, see you Monday for Raw. Bye, Walter. Have a great weekend, hon. Piccolo says, I kind of want to hear Miss D's Mount Rushmore of wrestling since the inception of Wrestling Gab. Oh, God. Sophie says, all 3 members of New Day have had single runs when the other members of New Day are out injured. Jacob says, that commercial they just showed was what I was talking about. Vindicator says, Travis, who was more protective of Dalitha when you met her? Her mother, father, brother, or aunties? One, he's never met most of my family because I'm not close with them. My mother passed away the year that Travis and I actually really started dating and being together.
So I never met her mom.
And my father and brother don't really care unless something happens. I usually can take care of myself.
Yeah, she'd beat me up. So.
Piccolo says 1 male and 1 female. Sophie says the Brawling Brutes. Piccolo says take care, Walter. Anthony says the Brawling Brutes, Sophie says, is what their name was. The Brawling Brutes.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sophie, for finding that out and repeating it for us. Walter says, or Piccolo says, take care, Walter. And Anthony Manzano's in the chat says, Gap. Do you think the mistake WWE made, specifically with NXT, is they should have waited till Rampage debuted? And waited to have AEW move Dynamite to Fridays and have it compete with SmackDown and have them have Rampage on Wednesdays with NXT?
I don't know. I don't know if it's necessary to compete week in and week out with other organizations. But I see where you're coming from, because NXT would win that because they're getting more ratings than Rampage.
Yeah. Film says, woo, let's go. Not a bad SmackDown. Sophie says it's probably going to be returning Tyler Breeze. I doubt it.
And then
Matthew
he says move
work.
SmackDown to Wednesdays?
No, you would move Dynamite to Fridays and have it compete with SmackDown, and then have Rampage on Wednesdays with NXT if they hadn't moved NXT.
Then they would just lose all their people that watch, because their big
People
show's
SmackDown.
Wednesday, because if they did on Friday, nobody would watch, like they don't, because they would be out drinking and chasing Strange.
And watching SmackDown.
I know I say that like, everybody out there is doing that,
come back
but there are a bunch of people that do go to the bars and out with friends, and they have lives on Fridays. I don't. But
Matthew's like, total work. WWE never uses airtime for bad PR. Luna's in the chat says it's finally good to be back. Yay, Luna. Jacob says, Travis, did you know that I hear voices in my head and they talk to me? Randy Orton has that same problem. Sophie says they suspended Sasha and Naomi. So how are they going to crown the new women's tag champions if they don't have that many women's tag teams? They'll make them up.
They're making up a tournament, so maybe we'll see some of those new NXT broads come up.
Maybe.
That'd be pretty cool if they do it
Bryce
right.
says, bye, Wrestling Gab. I got to get some good sleep tonight.
Woo!
Bye. Bye, Bryce. Have a wonderful weekend,
Have a
man.
good night.
Thanks for hanging with us tonight. We really appreciate it. Matthew's like, my bath is too hot. Dude, what the fuck are you taking a bath while you're on the phone with us?
We got 20 minutes.
Robbie
match
says,
to happen.
Sophie, just enjoy the game. Chill out. Matthew's like, now it's too cold. Oh, God. Looks like, Sophie, who cares how they do it? And Matthew's like, if only there was a way. Sophie's like, it will be interesting when WWE and AEW compete head-to-head in pay-per-views. It was like, I'm more protective. Stay away from Miss D. Ayla's back in the chat for a minute. Matthew's like, Randy's enjoying the hell out of himself. LOL, I love it. Sophie's like, I can't whistle at all. I'm sorry you can't whistle. That really sucks.
I'm not good at whistling either. I need a rape whistle. He doesn't like that.
You don't like whistling? Charlie likes whistling.
He looks like a prairie dog.
Anthony Manzano says, Gab, as wrestling fans, do you guys think it's harder to judge how athletic a big man is in general? Because usually most of their matches are very methodical in terms of the move set.
Right, and then the ones that are special, the ones that are gifted as big men, they usually show it off a little bit. Like the Murder Hawk, Lance Archer, when he walks the top rope, kind of like the Undertaker did. Undertaker is another one where they're very athletic and big men. So you can see it, but some of them you can't see the athleticism in them. Like Braun Strowman is a prime example. He didn't have a lot of athleticism.
I am not ignoring your question, Pucola, by the way, about my Mount Rushmore. I don't have one. I seriously couldn't even answer it for you. I seriously couldn't, because I've only watched for
That's what he's saying.
as the time I've been on here. And I don't really have anybody that I would say, oh, yeah, they're just so phenomenal. I'm going to put them on this. Because I don't have that history of knowing some of their careers. Like, I've only seen what they've done now, whether or not they're new or been there for 20 years. Like, Randy Orton's been there forever.
Right,
but that doesn't mean I like him. That doesn't mean I'm like, oh, Randy Orton is just impossible. I'm going to put him on my Mount Rushmore because he's so good.
Right, but he's saying since you've watched.
I don't have any.
Who's the 4 best wrestlers since you started watching it?
I seriously couldn't tell you.
You can't say who you've watched win week after week for the past 2 years.
Does winning really make him, like, do I really think that winning makes him a good wrestler? I like The Miz, for fuck's sake. Like, they never let him win anymore. He totally loses all the time. So does that mean he's a good wrestler?
He's been a world champion in the past 2 years.
That doesn't mean anything.
A great pick.
Would I put him on a Mount Rushmore? No.
Roman Reigns has been champion for
I fucking hate that man. There's no way I'd ever put him on a Mount Rushmore.
Oh, my God.
See?
Your bias is stopping it, is what you're saying.
No, my bias isn't stopping it. It's because I don't like them.
So you've been doing this for 3 years, and the guy's had the title for over 600 days. Wouldn't he just automatically be on there?
God, no.
And then you'd have a Brock Lesnar on there because he had a title for 400 days.
Why does the title have to do with it? I thought it was my Mount Rushmore.
Right.
Who I think is good, not who you say should be up there. You're saying, oh, well, these are the reasons why they should be up there. Are those good reasons? No, they're not.
Just saying, on Mount Rushmore, it's presidents. It's not just people. They don't just take people that are like, oh, that guy did pretty good. Like, then it would be Thomas Edison and other people.
Well, they did pretty good considering what they gave us.
But they're not on Mount Rushmore.
They should be. It's biased.
It's broken. I'm an American man.
Stuff is like that. Matthew says that. Matthew said that. I said, champ, pew pew, what you need? And I realized, like, robots can't whistle. Take notes. I was like, Ravi, who will win in a hairy armpit match? Nikki Bella or Becky Lynch? I choose Becky. What about you? Film says, let's go, RK Bro. It looks like I'm hiding from George's family. Haha. Pico is like, well, okay, guys. Just regard my question. I'm pulling a Sasha and grabbing my ball and going home. I can't answer it. That's my problem. I can't answer your question. So now I'm answering your question by saying I can't answer it. Matthew says, mother misses you, child. Moo. Jacob says, how about we see Casey Catanzaro come up? Film says, quick question. Is this the main event right here? Yes.
It is, absolutely.
Luke says, LOL, the Brawling Brutes is not an official name. Plus, in the 80s, there was a WCW tag team called the Brawling Brutes. So I don't think they'll use that name. Robbie's like, so happy my football team, Liverpool, have won 2 out of 4 trophies so far this season and taking it on wire on Sunday in the last day of the Preem and in the Champion League final against Madrid. Sophie says, when Sasha and Naomi walked out, I can't believe how many fans backed their decision. This walkout made a new war between fans instead of AEW versus WWE. Luke says, Jacob, it's not Casey Catanzaro anymore. It's Casey Katana.
Yeah, they changed her name.
Or Katana, however you want to say it. Matthew says, Luke, the chimney sweeps. I'm telling you, I've got the intel. Jacob's like, okay, thanks,
All
Luke.
right, we have started this match. Right now, it's Jimmy Uso in there with Riddle.
Winner take all. This is a winner take all, guys. Ravi says, Randy feeling himself in this match. Sophie says, why couldn't they unify the world championships like they are doing for the tag championships? Are they doing it, though, for real, Sophie? Or
we are going to find out.
And it's like, Misty, who have pissed you off the least?
Right.
Bill's like, hey, Ravi, did you get my question? And Matthew's like, The Miz sucks so bad, he's awesome. Jacob's like, Al, this is the main event. And Ayla's like, Walter, Matthew, I have never seen Dalitha mad at Walter. Ha ha.
All right, Riddle in there. Dropped down on Jimmy.
Film says, really, that's how they're going to end SmackDown? Wow. Pickle's like, LOD, it's no biggie. I was just curious. Well, I guess it is a big deal because Travis is over here giving me a hard time about it. So it has to be a big deal.
It's huge.
I have to just know. I have to be able to give you an answer to this question that is kind of no interest to
Throw him
me.
into the corner hard. 3.
Matthew's like, what the fuck over? ? Sophie says, it is weird that most weeks they give SmackDown main event more time than they do with a Raw main event. They have to because Fox won't let them go over. So, you know.
Yeah, they end like 2 minutes early. They always end at 58,
Yeah.
which is always weird
Luke
to me.
says, Sophie, why can't you just stop asking so many questions that no one has the answer for? Hell, WWE doesn't even know the answers. Robbie's like, Film, I think Nikki would win with a rack attack
Injury.
2.0.
There's an injury, like a real injury. He did the X. So here comes the doctor. So the X is, but that's not a real injury. He would have to check on him. He didn't even look at him. Why are they doing that?
Maybe they paid off the ref. Maybe the
RK
ref
Bro.
is pilled off.
He did the X. The X usually means that's legit. But he didn't even check on it. He pulled him down, and then the referees just stepped in front of him. He didn't even ask him if he was okay.
Huh. Yeah, I saw that, but yeah. I don't know how it usually works, so.
Well, they
Matthew,
see if they're okay.
yeah, I understand that now. I wouldn't have known that a minute ago. Matthew's like, I'm not that foxy up, and that makes zero sense. Matthew says Jimmy is getting pinned. Sophie says, when was the last time you guys saw a wrestling event live? I've
2001.
never seen one live.
Or 2. Maybe it was 1. It was 2001 or 2.
Film says, Robbie, nice pick, dude. And Jeff Hardy's #1 fan in the chat says, Sophie, just
Hey, Jeff.
get out of the stream chat for good and bother someone else's live stream. You've been a pain in everyone's side for 2 years. Oh, that's not very nice. Jeff Hardy's #1 fan.
Oh, Jeff Hardy's #1 fan.
It's okay. Be nice. It's all right. Sophie can come in here and spout nonsense. It's fine. So he's like, Luke, I'm not the only one who's asking questions. Robbie's like, Liverpool, we are trying to win the quad all 4 trophies, which has never been done. So he's like, okay, bye. See you Monday. Bye, Sophie. Have a great weekend, hon. Take care. Play those video games. Watch some good shows. Make sure you watch that 8 Simple Rules to Date the Daughter coming on Disney+. Matthew says, yeah, Randy is stiffing a bit. Ayla's like, Jeff, chill. See you Monday, Robot Sophie. Looks like, Sophie, you're the only one asking this question. Same questions over and over as you come in with wrestling news that is either unproven or flat out fake. Pico's like, I'd rather know the Mount Rushmore of the chat. Luke and Ravi don't count. They're already shoo-ins. Yeah, ask Matthew. Matthew, what's your Mount Rushmore? What's your wrestling Mount Rushmore? Come on, Matthew, give us that info. Matthew's like, SmackDown is broadcast. Ravi is cable satellite. Raw is cable satellite. Looks like LOL. Pico. Jeff Hardy's like, I'm siding with young Skywalker on this one. Film's like, Ravi, who will win in an armpit deodorant match? Rhea Ripley or Charlotte Flair or Ronda Rousey or Bliss? I choose the Goddess Bliss. What about you? And Matthew says the X right at a commercial break with a gimmick we already know. Work. Ayla's like, has Sophie been in the chat for 2 years? What the fuck? Cheerful Grizzly in the chat. Hey, Cheerful says, oh no, Riddle.
Yeah, hopefully he's not really, really hurt, because the referee jumped on that too soon. There's no way he would even know.
Thanks for being in our chat, Cheerful Grizzly. Nice to see you back in here. Luke says, thank you, Jeff Hardy's #1 fan, but who the hell are you? Robbie's like, Charlotte all day long. The rest are all jobbers. Matthew's like, Ayla, I swear it's been longer. Mandela effect. Film's like, go, RK Bro, go. Jacob's like, I'm thinking about playing some WWE. You should. Luke's like, no, I feel bad, but I didn't try to be rude, and I don't know
We got 10 minutes
who the
left
Jeff
in this
Hardy
match.
fan is. I was like, D recommending some B-Tech shows.
All right, the match is going back. Riddle is still in there, so.
I'm not recommending them, Ravi. Sophie came in here and was excited about it. I was just reminding Sophie to have a good time this weekend. Take care of themselves. Do something for themselves. You know, that kind of stuff. Being a good person. I know it's really hard for you, Ravi, to be a good person sometimes because you like to give me shit all the time. But sometimes. Film says, okay, nice, Ravi. Ayla says, okay, so here's where I stand. Sophie is really annoying, but at the same time, I enjoy her banter. Plus, she lets me give her crap. So it's a win-lose. Looks like, and oh my god, I can't type. Jeff Hardy's #1. It says, nope, staying anonymous. Sweet, anonymous. Matthew's like, Mount Rushmore of wrestlers. Okay, Picola, here's your answer from Matthew. Mount Rushmore of wrestlers is Rhea, Raquel, Victoria, and Luna. Gotta get that freak on. Okay, what about your men? Do you have a men's Mount Rushmore of wrestlers? And so Sophie came in when Matthew disappeared on us, 4 to 6 months ago. I've been here for a while. I don't recall her. Looks like my Mount Rushmore of wrestling is 5 wrestlers. Undertaker, Sting, Ric Flair, Triple H, and Stone Cold, with The Rock getting an honorary mention. Jacob's like, hey, Ayla. Bobby says, LOD, I love shithousery. What can I say? I understand you do. I get it. I really do. I do also. But sometimes we gotta be polite and nice to people. They cry if you don't. Film's like, hey, Jacob, who will win in an armpit tickling match? Dana Brooke and Liv Morgan or Carmella and Zelina Vega? I choose Team Dana Brooke. What about you? Well, it looks like Team Riddle isn't that broken. He's wrestling again, so he's not as broken as everybody expected him to be. Matthew's like, ooh, that Mount Rushmore. Y2J, Eddie Guerrero, Kurt Angle, and Mick. There you go, Piccola. There's some more info. Jones, the New York Police Captain Cat, says, who's Luna? Luna says, someone else, not me. That's right.
She was a woman
else,
from the
not me.
80s, early 90s.
Jacob Jean says, Team Dana.
I think it was
Ryan
Luna
says,
Vachon, I think was her last name. She was a wackadoodle. I think she was really that way in real life, too. Like, just a crazy. All right, Jey Uso's in there now.
right? He is in there doing stuff.
We the ones. Taking their sweet-ass time here.
He said, who's the ones? Yeah, got something in my mouth. Oh, sorry. Rob is like, Sophie does chat all kind of mad, doesn't she? Yes. Sometimes it's actually very entertaining, so it's fine. Film says, a nice pick, Jacob. Luna says, someone else, not me. P. Cole's like, damn, Jeff Hardy, #1 fan coming in hot. I may not like Sophie's opinions, sports teams, TV shows, cereal boxes, food options, wrestling rumors, and odd knowledge of comedy. That last one was my time, all time. I don't know enough.
Randy
Jerry
got
the King
tagged
Wagler
in.
really helped the business.
Jimmy
I'd vote
doesn't
for
stand
him.
a chance against this guy.
Ayla says, hi, Jacob. And Robbie says, LOD, you love it, really. Love what? Love what? What do I love now?
Oh, and then he gets
Who
Jay.
says, but I don't flat out hate my Florida neighbor. Right? Like, you can't, right? It's so fucking, like, bizarro world entertaining that you're just like,
Uh-oh, here it
are
goes.
you okay?
DDT.
Like, blink twice if you need help kind of thing. It was like Fat Lisa laughing, heart, yes. Matthew's like, hey, maybe copy South Park and have a Mount Rushmore of wrestling poll for the channel. There you go, Travis. There's your thing.
South Park. Super kick there by Jay.
Mount Rushmore of wrestling poll for the channel. Flutter Punk is in the chat saying, yes, the great Luna
I don't know
Vachon.
how you do the poll. You'd have to put like 5 guys on it, and then that would be 1. And then the next week you do 5 guys, and then that would be 1. And then the next.
I think you would just have to ask the question instead of it being a poll.
Right, that's what I mean.
You just have to say, who's your 5 guys, or who's your 4 guys you put on Mount Rushmore?
I know we have people in here doing it, but I don't think you can start around Mount Rushmore without 2 of them, Hogan and Flair. And then I think Undertaker's on there. So it's really who's the 4th.
Right. Well, I know that Luke doesn't include Hogan on his, so.
Well, it's just weird. We wouldn't be watching wrestling if it wasn't for Hogan. It probably would have never been on the air.
Jacob says, Matthew, should I meet Jerry Lawler sometime? Luke says, Trav is correct about Luna, LOL. Or as Flutterpunk says, yes, the great Luna Vachon. Matthew says, interaction, yo. Film says, okay, Jacob, who will win in an interpretation match? Rhea Ripley, Becky Lynch. I choose Rhea. What about you? Jacob says, I am thinking about going with Becky. Robbie says, I think there will be interference in this match. And Matthew's like, LOL, I'm not Soapy. It was like sometimes Sophie gets really rude though, like passive as fuck, but Luke or Robbie can deal with the spam she spits out all over chat.
Things are about to get
Feels
real.
Like, nice,
Riddle up top.
Riddle's like Melina.
Is he going for an RKO
Tori
off the
Wilson,
top
Nikki
rope?
Bella, and Lita.
Ooh, the women would be a very difficult.
I know them.
Yeah, you have to put the Fabulous Moolah on there because she was champion for like 20 years.
So, Travis, that's your Mount Rushmore, and just because you go off of how long they had champions.
Let's do a president one and not put Lincoln or Washington on there.
I'm just saying that
Just because we have bias.
people like other people. And
It's
they don't
okay to
have
like other
be
people, but you still
champions
have
for
to.
20,000 years. It was like Matthew is Soapy and Judy. Oh my
Here it
God. Matthew's like South Park just
It's
did a
over, by
song
the way. We
tournament.
do
Check it
have
out.
unified tag team champions. The Usos, thanks to Roman Reigns and his lethal spear. It has happened. Undisputed. Tag team champions of the world.
I was like, go RK Bro, go. Robbie's like, P. Cole, a good choice. Film says, go RK Bro, go. They didn't make it to the finish line. Matthew says, I'm the champ. I'm I created Miss D. We created this time-traveling Nazis. Looks like I know Hogan is responsible for a lot in wrestling, but to me, the other 5 had a bigger impact for me in wrestling. Luke says, and there is the interference. And Robbie's like, D, I agree with Travis. And Film says, Matthew, who will win in an armpit stubble match? Mandy Rose or AJ Leo? Choose Mandy Rose.
He's
What about
choking
you?
him out.
Film's like, no, RK Bro lost.
He's got him in a guillotine. Riddle's going out. Riddle's completely out.
Rob is like, D, I called it there would be interference in the match, but if there's interference, then they shouldn't have won.
Yeah, but the referee didn't see it. It's setting it up for the pay-per-views. Moving forward. Like I said, RK Bro couldn't be champions. Oh. That kid's getting his ears plugged. Mom's holding his ears shut.
Yeah, it's probably really loud in there right now.
The bloodline. There's the kid. That just happened, so we do have new tag team champions for Raw. They are on SmackDown. Run your mouth now. Now he's going after Randy.
This is fucking dumb as fuck.
It's called a beatdown.
This is why, this, my friends, is why I couldn't make him Mount Rushmore. Here you go. This is why. Right now. This garbage. The stupidity.
The gang life.
It's so fucking dumb. It makes me want to throw up so bad. It's so bad. So he says, wow, they gave us a winner. That's a surprise. And they set up Roman Summer feuds at the same time. Matthew says the only way to settle this is with Bliss as ref. Jacob says, guess what? I will be back on
Always.
Monday. Fantastic, Jacob. Glad you went back to days, hon. We'll see you on Monday. Have a great weekend. Be safe out there. Boom says, that poor kid, LOL. Vindicator says, so Bloodline won't lose until end of 2022. So my only interest is whatever Cody, Liv, and Raquel does from now on. Everything else is just stale and predictable, basically.
Yeah, it's
garbage.
Definitely a strange...
Just boring garbage.
Both heavyweight champions are on their Roman. And then now both heavyweight tag team champions are on the Usos. So there's one tag team champion and one world champion right now in wrestling, in WWE wrestling.
Yep.
That's kind of a big deal.
I feel that that's dumb. It looks like fish, but make it gay. Motherfucking gay fish. Matthew's like, that bitch had an accident with a Hoover. I finally got my wish, not see. I'm a gay fish. Vindicator's like, anyhow, see you guys for Raw. Have a good weekend. You too, Vindicator. Be safe out there. Take care. Everybody else, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. And, of course, you too, Ven. I'm glad you came and talked to us. It's always good to see you. Robbie says, oh, Ayla tastes the rainbow. Matthew's like, oh, no, not see. I like the not see.
Nazis.
My wish now I'm a gay fish. But he said, my wish not see I'm a gay fish. Like, not.
Right.
Like, no, it's not. And then
Can't see.
see. Like, you see things with your eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Luke says, so they literally now have no one realistically to challenge the bloodline. They have now ran through everyone. Boom says, not a bad episode of SmackDown, but like I said, I kind of expected better. I wanted to see more women. Boom's like 7.8 out of 10 for SmackDown. And Matthew's like, my phone is hijacked by the third. Robbie says, SmackDown 5 out of 10. And Film says, bye, Mystia Travis. Bye, guys. God bless America. God bless WWE. God bless women's armpits and all that other glorious stuff. Big hearts and love, y'all. Luna says, goodbye now. Film says, Matthew, Mindy Rose, Reggie Lee. Bye. See you on Monday. God bless you. Is like, see you on Monday. And I would say, big up, Dia Travis. It was like Matthew equals gay fish. Haha. Matthew's like, AJ. There's your answer. And on that note of answering about stuff and Ayla's night, guys, we're leaving. Goodbye.
All right, everybody. Thanks for watching Wrestling Gap. Have a good weekend, and we'll see you on Monday for Monday Night Raw. Bye-bye.